I'll give it another minute or so just to allow people to pop on. But I do want to welcome you and thank you and congratulate you for registering for this event and putting yourself first. I am going to kick this off then. Let's talk about self-love. Oh my gosh, it is most certainly a topic that I am extremely passionate about, and I just want to thank everybody who's registered for this this 5-day event and challenge, and commend you for putting yourself first and making yourself really important. And of course that is the first step to self-love and self-care, and yeah, making yourself really important. So well done. Also, if you have registered for the event, you would have by now received a questionnaire, self-love questionnaire. I do encourage you to complete it. I'm going to talk a little bit later about that as well, but if you haven't received it, make sure that you get in contact with me. I will also share it on here at some stage. But yeah, I think, so every day I'm going to be sharing something worthwhile, some tools that you can use in your journey to self-love. Because for me, the intention of these 5 days is for you to get as much information and as many tools as possible to help you along your journey of self-love and to self-love. And yeah, if after the 5 days, that is what I want. I want you all to just absolutely feel the love again, start feeling the love, and be equipped to get yourselves onto that journey. So in the next 20 minutes or maybe longer, we're going to talk about love, right? So please remove all the distractions, whether it's phones, whether, I'm not sure what you can do with your kiddies, but just remove the distractions and make this time your time, because that is, after all, why we are here. The most important relationship that you are going to have in your life is the one with yourself. I've said this before, and I often say that you are, and there's only one person that's going to spend your whole life with you, from the moment you opened your eyes until the moment you close your eyes, and that is you, nobody else. So treat yourself like you would your best friend, or even better, treat yourself like you would want your best friend to treat you, with love, with respect, with care, with attention, with compassion, with kindness. So in the next 5 days, we're kicking off today with what is self-love. We want to understand the importance of self-love and how it impacts your overall well-being. The second day tomorrow we're going to spend on forgiveness and acceptance, and learn the art of forgiveness and acceptance. And again, why is it so important for us to forgive and accept? Then on the third day, we're going to talk about your self-care journey. We will talk about why and how to prioritize self-care, and we're going to create a self-care plan. And then on day 4, we are going to be talking about setting boundaries, that inevitable big B word, which so many of us struggle with. And we are going to learn how to say no without feeling guilty. And on the 5th day, on the last day, we are going to talk about negative self-talk, where we will identify and reframe negative self-talk and reframe them into positive affirmations. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Suzette Lowe. I am the founder of I Am Life Coach. And during my own transformation, I discovered that most of the challenges that I faced in the areas of growth that I identified came back to the very same thing, and it had to do with self-love. So for most of my life, I didn't love myself. It went further. I didn't accept myself. I didn't forgive myself. I didn't handle the traumas that I had during my lifetime. I never gave myself that enough care and the space to handle these things. And there were moments, and many moments, when I would look in the mirror and I wouldn't even like what I saw. I didn't like who I was for a very, very long time. So the Bible says, thou shalt love your neighbor as thyself. And for me, there was this voice in the back of my head that that just would kind of, but okay, what if I don't love myself? I mean, for me, love wasn't a given. And I was surrounded always. It's not like I was living on this island, secluded, and I didn't have people around me who cared for me and who supported me. But to the contrary, it's just that I didn't feel the love for me. And this is profound because it also implies that if you do not love yourself, you don't love your neighbor. And it goes further. If you don't love yourself, how can you expect anyone else to love you? The fact is, the more women I talk to, the more I realize that there are just so many of us who struggles with this, who probably sometimes often not even spend time on thinking about it and reflecting on it. But women who really, really just don't feel it. They just don't feel it. They're not connected with themselves anymore. They're just not feeling the emotions. They're merely surviving. And that is what I want from this. And that is one of the reasons why I became a coach, is because I know I have been there. I've been on the other side of the sphere. I've been on the side of I don't love, I don't care, I don't accept, I don't forgive, blah, blah, blah. And I have managed to turn it around. And no, I'm not there yet. I did the questionnaire. I still have work to do. I'm not 100% there yet. I don't believe we will ever get to 100%, but we can always strive for absolutely getting there. And that is why self-development and this kind of work is an ongoing process, because you keep raising the bar. And so that's really why I'm here, is to show you that it is possible to turn it around. It is always possible to turn things around, but there's got to be that intention. There's got to be that decision. There's got to be that day when you say, today's the day. I'm going to turn it around. I am tired of not feeling it. I am sick and tired of just surviving. We are not put on this earth to merely survive. We are put on this earth to have amazing lives. And I know that life isn't easy. I know that. You merely need to look at what is happening in the world to know that, things are not easy. There are people who have, way more difficult circumstances than most of us, actually. If you just look at what's happening in Turkey and Syria. But what I take out of these events like Turkey and Syria is to focus on the miracles, to focus on the good rather than the bad. And that is how we start changing our own lives too. Just focus on the positive, focus on the good. It is not all bad. There are things to be grateful for. There are reasons to love yourself. Trust me, if you struggle to find the reasons to love yourself, please reach out. Because I promise you, there are a magnitude of reasons why you can and should love yourself. So, why love ourselves? Why love yourself? And I feel I need to, and maybe kind of we can take for granted that we know this, but why should we love ourselves? First and foremost, because you deserve it to be fully loved. You are unique, and if you're not sure of how unique you are, just look at your thumbprint. You are a unique, a special, an amazing individual who was created with the purpose of being alive, of living up to your maximum, of living your purpose. There's a reason why you are here. You were created for a reason. And you were created as a person who deserves to be loved fully, completely, without any limitations. The second reason is because everything, and I mean everything, starts with you. Everything starts with you. Life does not happen to you. Life happens for you. If you want happiness, then you have to become happy within. If you want gratitude, then you need to start being grateful. If you want to live a life with less stress and less anxiety, then you need to start by feeling more relaxed and more content. If you want a life of abundance, then you need to start living like you have a life of abundance. And I'm not saying go on a shopping spree and pretend that you've got millions in your bank account if you don't have. What I am saying is just see the abundance around you. The world is filled with abundance. I mean, if you look outside the window, there's an abundance of birds, of trees, of nature. It's beautiful. We've got an abundance of air that we can breathe. We have an abundance. If you want to see it, feel it, look for it, you will see it. And you want to feel loved? Then what better way than to start loving yourself? The third reason is it is impossible to care and love for others if you are not able to care for yourself and love yourself first. We can fake it, and I mean, if there's one saying that I completely resent, it is fake it until you make it. There's no fake it until you make it when it comes to love. We can often kid ourselves by thinking that we are in love. We can often kid ourselves and suppress the real feelings that we feel, and instead convince ourselves that we are feeling loved. We can convince ourselves of anything, by the way. Our minds are that powerful. But you cannot really fully love other people unless you love yourself. It is only natural to want to feel loved. So if you lack love yourself, then you are bound to go looking for it in other places, through other people, through other things, through the acknowledgement of others, through accolades, through the lives of other people, anything that makes you feel better about yourself, right? I mean, that is what we do. That is why we have people-pleasing tendencies and codependency and things like that. That's why we become addicted. Because we're lacking. There's something missing within ourselves. If you lack self-love, lines become blurred, and so does your boundaries. Again, which is why we attract toxic people into our lives and why we find ourselves in situations where we become people pleasers. In respecting yourself, you learn to respect other people. In loving and caring for yourself, you learn how to love and care for others. You will inevitably become better at doing relationships with others if you love yourself. For example, the old example of sitting on an airplane, you're told to put the mask on yourself before helping others. There's a reason for that. Your cup is overflowing of love, then there is more than enough to give to other people. But if your cup is not overflowing with love, what are you going to do? How are you going to give love to how are you going to give love to other people? So let's talk about the questionnaire. But I want to just ask you, does this resonate? If this resonates with you, drop a comment, and just let me know what you feel, how you feel. And again, this group was created, this is a private group, remember. This group was created with the intention for bringing like-minded women together. So it is a private group. It is a group where you can feel comfortable sharing, where you can feel comfortable asking questions. If there's anything you want to ask me, please go ahead and ask. And if I can help in any way, this is what this is about. If you feel you want to drop me an email, please do so. Just reach out. If you are struggling with self-love or self-care, please reach out. This is why we are doing this. And again, in the group, caring is a way of loving. So please feel free to share, to care, and to ask questions in the group. Right, so if we don't have any questions, then let's move on to the questionnaire. So I'm hoping that you've all received the questionnaire. As I said, if you haven't received it, please reach out. We will put it into the group as well. I'll pop a link to the questionnaire just now. But going through the questionnaire, this is your time, this is your moment. The questionnaire is going to help you determine where do you stand in terms of self-love. Please find a place, and it doesn't take long. It takes about 7 minutes or so, even quicker maybe, all depending on how deep you want to go and how well you know yourself. But really spend the time to reflect truthfully and authentically. As I said, we are able to convince ourselves of many things. So take the time to really reflect on how do you really feel about that. I have to share and say that I actually did it twice. I went through it twice because some of the questions, at some points, I felt like, I want to give it a 10, and that's where you're leaning towards. I just, But when you're really true to yourself, and that's what this is about, is you want to know exactly where it is that you are. Because the beauty of this questionnaire is it breaks it down in different categories. So if you were truthful to yourself and you answered the questions honestly, then you can look afterwards at the results. You'll receive a report in your email, and you will be able to identify in which categories do you lack. Do you lack in self-esteem? Do you lack in confidence? Do you lack in acceptance and forgiveness? Do you lack in boundaries or in self-care? And identifying where and which categories you lack in. Because when you do these things, very often we do these things and we just become overwhelmed because, oh my gosh, there is just so much work to be done. The beauty of looking at the different categories so that you can pinpoint. You can say, okay, you know what, I'm actually doing okay in terms of my boundaries, but I'm lacking self-care, which by the way is where I know I'm lacking at the moment. And also knowing and identifying that some of these categories overlaps and influences each other. So if you don't have firm boundaries and healthy boundaries, and you're not able to say no when you need to, you're likely to lack in self-care. If you have not forgiven yourself and accepted your past and your past mistakes, you might be struggling with confidence. All these elements are crucial to your well-being. And then I'm going to encourage you and I'm going to challenge you to share in the group what your results are. If you don't want to do a screenshot, just shout out and say, hey, I'm doing great on self-care, but I'm lacking confidence. Any suggestions? And we are there to help each other. We are there to care for each other, and that is what this community is about. So do share your results. I look forward to seeing it. I look forward to seeing the actual results of these questionnaires, of these questions, and I look forward to spending the next 4 days with you and talking about love. I am truly passionate about love. Self-love has changed my life forever, and there is no turning back. I can tell you that once you've made that shift and once you've done the work, there is no turning back. It's magical from there onwards. So that is my wish for you, and I'm going to leave it at that for today. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at forgiveness and acceptance, and I look forward to spending this time with you again tomorrow.